Hey guys, what's up? Remind here, doing another audio commentary for WCReplays.com. This audio is copyrighted 2006 by WC Replays, so don't go stealing it. Get the replay paused at the 15-second mark. I repeat, get the replay paused at the 15-second mark. So what's up guys? This is my second audio. I picked two games this time. The first one is Jang Jae Ho, which is Spirit Moon versus U5 nilk LP. This is a fairly old replay as U5 turned into Hooray or Hooray or Hooray or whatever you crazy Americans call them with your crazy accent. This game is not your cookie cutter nightelf versus human game. I'm going over a strategy that we don't often see, but it is an extremely difficult strategy to counter if you don't know what you're up against. And of course, we're graced by the go soonest of Spirit Moon this game, and we will be seeing some crazy shit. So I hope you're at the 15-second mark, because I'm not. I'm at the 17-second mark. Sorry about that, guys. Can you get to the 17-second mark? Thank you. Alright, I hope you're at the 17-second mark. I'm pausing in 3, 2, 1, unpause. Okay, now we see that it's basically close spawn. Now, nightelf versus human, I'd say, is a fairly balanced matchup. Normally, it's about 50 to 50 or 55 to 45, but it's usually in the human player's favor. There are a number of reasons, mainly because the T2 push is really strong, and there are quite a few maps that favor human slightly, and things like that. Just small things that really end up adding up. Now, on Turtle Rock, there are two ways you play the nightelf versus human matchup. The first way is cross spawn, which is your cookie cutter nightelf versus human. I'll just give a brief overview. You can pretty much expect to fight either a rifle push on this map or, say, mass casters, breakers, mortars, which is extremely strong on this map. I'll go into that a little more later. Now, the second way to play this matchup is close spawn. Now, if it's close spawn, take a look at nilk's base. You'll see he just called for militia. Now, if it's close spawn, what happens is you get militia rushed. Now, look at Moon's second Moonwell, and look at the placing. Now, watch the two wisps he pulled off wood very carefully. This is what separates Moon from pretty much every other elf player in the world. He's using those two wisps to block the militia, to buy time. And the reason he built his Moonwell near his Tree of Life is because the Tree of Life will be hitting the militia and the peasants, which will make him a bit cautious. He won't want to keep his militia there too long because he'll end up losing them all. So what you want to do is, as soon as you see this, when you have enough wood, you want to put down another well. If it's close spawn, you pretty much want to put down quite a few wells. Now I'll go over this a little more later. Now, priorities. If you can focus down the AM, go straight for the AM, but don't chase him. Don't waste time focusing the AM. If he's got militia there, then focus down the militia first, after the AM, like if he's gone. And if there are no militia or peasants, then focus down the feetmen or footmen, whatever you want to call them. The footmans, we'll call them footmans, no, we'll call them feetmen. Okay, anyway, you can see Moon's putting up like 2 moonwells. Now, he's going to end up putting down a few more, and we'll see why in a moment. So, basically we have a hell of a lot of militia, some footmen, and 2 water elementals in Moon's base. And all Moon has is a DH, 2 archers, and some wisps. Basically, what Moon's doing here is just trying to buy himself some time. He just wants to take out as many militia as he can. He wants to get his moonwells up. He's putting up a lot of moonwells. You may think he's putting up a lot of moonwells, but you'll see why in a moment. Basically, he's able to fight off the push, but he suffered quite a big disadvantage. He lost 2 or 3 walls that were building, and he's going to be a bit low on wood for a little while, so he's going to need to pump out quite a few wisps, and that's kind of difficult when you only have 20 out of 10 food, like when you know what I mean, when you don't have enough farms or moon wells to support the population. Now, take a look at nilk space. Now do you see why Moon was putting up like 1 million moon wells? Basically, if the rush isn't successful, which it sometimes isn't, but don't expect to always fight off the 3-4 militia rush with a footman, because basically the only reason Spirit Moon fought it off is because he is Spirit Moon. But it does illustrate what you would want to be doing. Now, the reason he puts up this many wells is, as I was saying before, is because if the rush fails, he will come back with more militia and more feetmen. What you want to be doing is you want to delay as long as possible until those militia turn into peasants. When he's got like 8 militia, his food is like he essentially has like 10 feetmen in your base killing your mans. What you want to do is you want to delay as long as you can until the militia turn into peasants. Now, if you get tower rushed, or if he starts building towers, in any situation ever, if you see towers building, this applies to any race, except undead, because there are better things to do versus an undead tower rush. But that's not what we're talking about this game. So, if you ever see towers going up, you want to build an AOW near them. So, the AOW will build and you'll uproot it, and it will be hitting the towers. Now, what you want to do with your other AOW is uproot it and walk it over, assuming you have about 4 archers. Now, priorities are, when you're fighting a tower rush, the peasants. Don't waste time focusing on the guard tower, or the towers being built, or the towers going up or upgrading. Don't waste time doing that. You want to focus on the peasants. If you can't repair them, then they'll go down a lot quicker. Now, Moon has successfully fought nilk off twice, and if you take a quick look at Moon's DH's XP, you'll notice that he's about halfway to level 3. Now, there are a multitude of ways to play from here. If you fought it off successfully and you have, if you turned it from an 80 to 20 for the human, like an 80%, 20% advantage for the human player, into about 50-50 by having a high level DH like this, and denying that AM experience by not losing too many units and detonating the wisps accordingly, then there are a number of ways you can play it from here. You can continue creeping and get a level 3 DH. This basically, okay, if you have a level 3 DH this early in the game versus this sort of strategy versus any race, it's an extremely good idea to take to bears, because you don't, dryads are more like improved archers that you use to harass with, but if you have a level 3 DH, you really don't need the dryads. Taking straight, like, dryads are a great unit to use if your playstyle, if that's your kind of playstyle, like if you like harassing his gold line while creeping and playing aggressively, stuff like that. Although going bears basically means that